One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the love, the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report and paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Yeah, what's good with everyone, man? It is beautiful Tuesday, Taco Tuesday morning, man. Hopefully everyone's doing fantastic. And look, I got myself on the small camera. Hey, what's good with everyone, man? Let's freaking go. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful, fantastic Tuesday morning so far. Listen, everybody, we got a lot to go over today, as we seem to be doing every day that we do live news. There's a lot to talk about, man. There's a lot of shit going down in the world. We're not just exclusive to one city, one town, one state, one country. It's all the way around, man. Listen, we got Trump's executive orders are challenged in court. We're going to go ahead and see a little bit what's being talked about with that. Secretary Hegseth is also in Hawaii, and I believe he's doing some sort of, like, not religious retreat. That wouldn't be like the right wording. Like, he's there, like, actually showing up for an actual religious event, I believe. I'm not totally sure of that, but we will go into it and see what he's doing. And as well as the Israel war, we've got some updates, unfortunate updates in Israel. Last night, we had a lot of shit go down. So, of course, as you figured, anytime we kind of wake up to it every day now that the war is back on, which is super unfortunate. You know, this is the last thing I want to have to really talk about. But nonetheless, make sure you guys hit that like button, everybody. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the show, man, hitting that subscribe button is also free. Please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month, man. We're making sure we're not going to be breaking no bank or wallets out here. But if it does break the bank or the wallet for you, don't do it. But this is exactly how we're able to go ahead and live stream and never cater to views. We don't have to do crazy, shocking things to get views and get paid. We are able to do exactly what we're doing right here, right now, because you guys and your membership, it allows us to do this. So please consider it, man, because it's like the #1 way that you can, like, help out the show itself. Also follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my lifestyle, but of the show, as well as Millennial Food Time and everything in between, man. Also, if you guys are interested in Discord, Naomi is dropping the link of the Discord invite for the server, the Insane Wheels server. Make sure you guys hang out in there, because we got actually a lot of you guys in the Breakfast Club over there on the Discord side. Well, now that I'm being active in there again, as well as everyone else is pretty damn active, it's always jumping in the Discord now. So I can't thank you guys enough for making that happen. Also, last but not least, all right? If you guys want to help out the show monetarily, man, of course, I'm going to shout out every super chat, gifted membership signups, super stickers. All of these things are going to be shouted out. But if you would like to help out the show monetarily and skip that brutal YouTube 30% cut and have 100% of what you give come straight to the creator, we have these platforms scrolling for the remainder of the show. And listen, of course, I'll shout you out and your message over there. So we'll allow this to scroll for the remainder of the show. Listen, everybody, we are about to get into the madness. We got Naomi up in the building. We got Steve Easy as well as Red, which is Wes, up in here. We got Gary. Always appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with us. We got Jesse up in here. Yes, sir. We are getting it, kind sir. We got S&S Contracting. Good to see you, my man, as well as Hardwire 1%er. Steve Easy up in here, of course, hanging out with us crazy rascals over here, dude. We got Allegedly as well, by the way. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're doing fantastic. Always great to see you. As well as Mr. That's my man right there. Good to see you. As well as Bob, man. Thank you all, by the way. I'm trying super hard to say hi to everybody and get into the craziness, man. It's going to be a wild one. We got Miss Lotus, and we're actually going to be starting off quite brutal this morning in Israel. But Miss Lotus, good to see you, by the way, over there in Florida. Hopefully everyone's doing well, man. Make sure you hit that like button. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we're about to get into this shit. Where's Miss Kitty today? She's usually sleeping on this blanket that's over here on my couch. She's usually right there, but she wasn't like ready for a nap today. So you might see her zooming around in the background somewhere because she's not there. So she may just be under the bed or under the couch. Either way, she'll be all right. She'll be all right. Sweet, no more shocking things, so no more small heads. Yeah, cap, right?
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap, yo. Brother Beezer, my man, always appreciate it. If you can't afford $2.99, get off your ass. Get your ass off YouTube and go job hunting. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding, bro. We got Frederick Frame up in here. Good to see my man, as well as Mount High, man. Left-handed tobacco all the way around. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always appreciate him too, man. We got Brother KP. Where is he at? There he is. Brother KP, man. Thanks for hanging out as well, man. Brother Dwayne Martin, as well as Steve Posey. All right, let's get into the craziness of this beautiful Tuesday morning. All right, we're going to go ahead and start this off with Israel. Breaking news early this morning, basically overnight last night. We're going to go ahead and see what's happened here. We've got reported deaths. I can't remember how many it is, but it's like 30-something. So let's go ahead and figure it out.
Good morning, and thank you so much for waking up with us here on Live Now from Fox. It's Tuesday morning, March 25th. I'm Jeanne Francine here.
Looks good on my side right now.
With you for the next few hours to give you all of your breaking news
What's
alerts,
up, Tiffany?
top stories, and of course your live events of the day as we come on the air this Tuesday morning, bright and early. We are following some breaking news. I want to take you out to the Middle East and give you a live look at the southern Israel-Gaza border as we are learning this morning from the...
It's actually less than what I thought. It's 23 people. My apologies. So there's the new breaking news headline from last night. Israeli strikes on Gaza killed 23 people. Let's figure out why and what happened here.
Associated Press, Palestinian medics are reporting that Israeli strikes killed at least 23 people in the Gaza Strip overnight into Tuesday. The dead include 3 children and their parents who were killed in a strike on their tent near the southern city of
on their fucking tent.
Eunice. Now, these reports are coming from Nasser Hospital. Hospital officials reporting they have received a flood of dead and wounded since Israel resumed heavy bombardment of Gaza last week, shattering the ceasefire that had halted the 17-month war. A lot to discuss this morning, so we want to bring into the conversation the expert, Executive Director of Scholars for Peace in the Middle East, Dr. Asaf Ramarwaski. Dr. Asaf, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, remember I told you guys that there are a couple of people that Fox Live Now brings on, and they are very knowledgeable. And though, yes, everyone that's brought on to these networks are, of course, going to be biased to an extent. Absolutely not going to try to say that it's not. But this guy right here, this Middle East expert, Dr. Asaf, this dude is on point with this shit. He's on point. He knows the shit. He's got intel on the inside of like Hamas and shit like that. Hezbollah as well. Shit like that. He's got the inside scoop for real. So I love this dude when he comes up here and tells us what's going on, because I actually believe that he's getting it from the direct source. Anyways, back to this.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So these headlines continue to show that the ceasefire is no longer in place. There's been a lot of back and forth. Yesterday, we were reporting how Nasser Hospital was hit by an Israeli strike. IDF officials learning that a Hamas militant was inside receiving treatment, but we're also seeing how innocent Palestinians are being impacted by this conflict, also innocent Israelis. Could you provide perspective, please?
Sure. Let's contextualize the issue. So first of all, I mean,
Yo, real quick before he gets into it. Brother Slim, good morning to you. Always stoked to see you, my man.
these hospitals, as we've seen at the beginning of the war, have served a dual purpose. They have served as Hamas bases, as Hamas rocket launchers. They've served as places where they've harbored intel as well as munitions. We saw that going back to the famous attack on the Shifa hospital. And so this is part of the Hamas tactics. That is to say that they take
What, to use their own people as human meat shields? Oh, yeah, that's typical.
Civilian entities and they turn them into terrorist ones. And that's part of the challenge that Israel has, as to your point, trying to disentangle, trying to remove how Hamas has basically embedded itself. Hamas is Palestinian society, and the challenges
True.
that you're facing today with the resumption of the fighting, with the war itself, with the war has never been over. And we are now basically about a month since phase one ended. And phase one ended, that was the last time we saw any kind of release of hostages. And there's been an attempt to try to continue the negotiation. That is to say, we want to continue the ceasefire. Hamas has refused to do so, given the fact that they know that the hostages are their lifeline. In the process, and the unfortunate reality is that there are casualties on both ends, and we've seen this in the beginning of the war itself. Though it is important to note that the kind of urban warfare that Israel has been fighting at the expense of their own casualties and civilians, that's been a consistent tactic that they've been using in order to try to, again, create an environment where they could try to maintain these safe zones for the civilian population of Palestinian society, such as it is, which is very complicated to begin with, and they continue to push in those directions. Hamas is the one that puts them on the front lines in order to aggrandize the casualties and to create.
Well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong in this. These people definitely know if they're going to get me, they're going to get a whole bunch of innocent civilians. And no matter what, even if I'm dead, they still look wrong. You know what I mean?
The exact end result that they have. And in this process, you see here innocent civilians and innocents get killed in the process. And that's the unfortunate reality of this war that's been going on, as you and I have been discussing now for over 17 months now, where you have innocent. And this is another point that I can't stress enough, that the people, the hostages who are going through hell inside of Gaza, there is no parallels between, those innocents, and Hamas sees all Israelis, all Jews as legitimate targets, as combatants, whereas the Israelis don't. And so the equilibrium that that they are looking to portray.
Yeah, it's weird. Anytime that we're talking about Israel, people get fucking censored left, right, and center. It's brutal. But Naomi did want to say that we have 25 people in the chat and there's 25 likes, dude. Humongous W. Dude, you guys in the Breakfast Club are on it, bro. Like, I fucking am honored. For real. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. It means a lot to me, man.
Is non-existent also in that process. And that's also part of the challenge that we are facing here time and time again.
That's right, Jack.
Dr. I know from the very beginning of this conflict, you were expressing how Hamas uses innocent Palestinians as literal human shields, of course, embedding themselves in everyday society. Also, these tent camps. Some confusion this morning and some questions surrounding these tent camps, because people were under the impression that they were supposed to be, quote unquote, safe zones. So people not understanding how innocent people are dying in these tent camps. Could you provide that perspective, please?
Sure. So this is part of the Hamas strategy. I mean, every time the Israelis have pushed the population to say, here are the safe zones, go in this direction versus another direction, in order to move the population. We saw this back when Israel was going into Rafah near the border with Egypt in order to remove where Hamas was and where Israel was, where the fighting was. Excuse me. What Hamas does intentionally is tell the civilian population, don't move, stay where you are, stay on the front lines, because they know the media is watching, because they know exactly what's going on, and they're looking to create the kind of imagery, the propaganda imagery, that there will be Israel does not discriminate between population, which is indeed not the case. But in these safe zones, Hamas has been able to rear its ugly head and continues to do so. While Hamas is indeed devastated, I would say about 90%, as you can still see now with the resumption of the...
Wait, devastated 90%? Or, yeah, I didn't catch that really.
Or they still have capabilities. Rockets have been coming into Israel, into the southern parts. We're guesstimating 59 hostages. Again, part of this whole idea here with this resumption was to put pressure on Hamas that if they don't, then the war will continue. There are interlocutors with the Egyptians trying to put pressure on Hamas. The Egyptians themselves have said that until Hamas should be removed, and then we can continue to try to help in to take in.
Wow, even they're pulling out, saying, you know what? Listen, you need to like recollect, and then we'll fund you again. Wow.
Of the refugees and try to move along a calmer environment. This is the entanglement that we're in. And so long as the war continues, this is the Hamas strategy, then they know that they are around and they're around the table. Part of the confusion has been that over the past few weeks, we've also seen individuals like Adam Bowler, who made comments about Hamas being quote unquote nice guys. The other day, Steve Witkoff actually admitted on record that he was duped by the actual sincerity of Hamas to actually negotiate an actual ceasefire. So there's a lot of confusion that's coming out even diplomatically when it comes to Washington playing a role in this positively. Indeed, Washington and Jerusalem.
Well, yeah, we have a humongous influence on vice versa. Like we have a huge influence on them and they have a huge influence on us. It's really true.
On the same page when it comes to them fighting Hamas, and of course,
especially military wise for the United States.
Also dealing with the larger threat of Iran, which of course, this has all been part of the multi-front against Iran and Iranian proxies.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Dr. Asaf, actually leading into my next question, how with this growing conflict, a lot of pressure on world leaders. I know this Tuesday morning, mounting pressure on Egypt to do more as Israeli families and other families who have hostages still in Hamas captivity are demanding their release.
100%. We just had now Eli Sharabi, one of the released hostages, who gave a testimony about the horrifying, really, days in captivity, the abuse.
I'm sure they did.
Physical abuse, the emotional abuse, who testified. So we have more and more mounted.
I would too, obviously. I'd be like, hell no, these motherfuckers fucked me up.
Treats and abuses these individuals time and time again. And there's mounting pressure inside of Israel as a result of that every day that goes by, there is a greater risk of their survival. And so there's an outcry internationally and domestically in Israel. And to your point about Egypt, again, worthy of note, the Egyptians have made comments to Hamas that they need to be out of the scene so they can, again, to your earlier point,
look at what Assad essentially did, abandoned his country, went over to Moscow and Russia. Taliban, Hamas is going to do the same shit, guaranteed.
Can protect whatever is left of the civilian population. The Egyptians understand Hamas. They understand the threat of Hamas. Let's be clear here. Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood. Egypt has not forgotten the stint of Mohammed Morsi when the Brotherhood took over. The Brotherhood also started in Egypt in 1928. From the Egyptian standpoint, that is also their way of fighting terrorism. They understand the threats that Hamas and Gaza represent. So they too are at least on the same page when it comes to disentangling and trying to separate this aspect. But that's the hardest part. Let's not forget that Gazans are indeed Egyptians. And so that's also the push there to try to see where Egypt.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He said it.
Can help out. And this relates, of course, to trying to clear the area as it relates to the Trump proposal, as far as the rehabilitation and what can happen when it comes to Gaza at large, which has been obviously devastated as a result of this war. And where do you go from here? And what kind of Arab actors and what kind of international actors Israel can work with and the United States in order to try to talk about a day after tomorrow scenario and what that looks like.
Well, Dr. Hegseth, we always appreciate your thorough perspective and expertise on all things Middle East. Thank you so much for joining us.
Shit. Yeah, that was brutal, dude. Definitely brutal way to start the morning. We're going to go ahead and get into our next breaking news, because you guys know that we just love breaking news on this side of the internet. I have no idea what the story is, but we're going to go ahead and find out. And then we're going to get into, I believe, Hegseth. We're going to get into him here in a minute, regards to him being in Hawaii. And then we're going to be getting into Trump's executive orders are challenged in court. So we'll go ahead and get, we'll try to not rush through this, but we'll push through this. You know what I mean?
From Fox, I'm Jeanne Francine. We are following some breaking news this Tuesday.
Yo, brother Slim up in here gifting out a membership, man. Someone for the Breakfast Club gets to reap the benefits of that. Listen, man, very much appreciate you, brother Slim. And this right here, these memberships, this is exactly how we continue to do what we do, man. So thank you for selflessly helping out the show, man. For real.
Morning out in the basketball world. I want you to take a good look at your screen. This
just
coming into our live now from Fox Studios.
Oh, so we're going to go ahead and do a whole breaking news story on this chick who suffers a torn ACL. Are you serious? You know what? You guys see the headline? We're skipping this bitch. That's fucking crazy. How is that like world news? We're talking about breaking news, some of the craziest world events happening around the world, and we get this stupid bitch up for the torn ACL. Man, I lost my leg and I didn't even get that kind of press. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and good morning to you if you're just now tuning in. I'm Jeanne Francine. Our next story takes us out to the Big Apple, giving you a live look outside of our Fox television studios as we're learning faculty at Columbia University are making their voices heard about recent policy changes. This after federal funding was pulled by the Trump administration. This coming as another student at the university could soon face deportation. Fox 5 New York's Briella Tomasetti joining us live this morning in morning.
I don't give a fuck about basketball in the first place, but if I don't give a fuck about basketball in the first place, then what makes you think I'm going to give a fuck about some women's basketball team? I'm just being honest here. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I don't care. All right, back to this.
Morningside Heights with the very latest. Briella,
what's up, Kitty? Good afternoon to you over there in the UK.
Jeanne, yeah, so attorneys for 21-year-old Yoon So-chung filed a complaint yesterday calling the government's actions an attack on free speech. They cited the case of Mahmoud Khalil, who was arrested by immigration agents earlier this month and who the Trump administration is now trying to deport. Chung, a lawful permanent resident.
No kidding. And you know what's funny, Wes? There's a lot of shit that is happening in the news, but it's weird how they just want to like throw some weird shit in like that. It's weird.
Who came to the U.S. as a 7-year-old child, said ICE agents moved to deport her after she was arrested on March 5th. The NYPD cited her during a protest over Colombia's decision to take disciplinary action against certain students who were involved in pro-Palestinian demonstrations. Within days of her arrest, Chung alleges ICE officials...
Are you talking about this in Columbia University? I think this is New York, right?
...to her parents' home seeking to detain her. Chung's lawyers say they were told her legal status was being revoked and claim law enforcement agents executed search warrants at 2 Columbia-owned residences, including her dorm room. They're seeking a court order to block
the Trump
administration's
Hey, good morning, by the way, my man.
efforts to deport non-citizens who participated in pro-Palestinian protests and are asking a judge to stop federal officials from detaining her or moving her out of New York while the lawsuit plays out. Meanwhile, protests played out again yesterday at the Ivy League school, with some students and faculty members accusing Columbia of caving to the demands of President Trump. The Trump administration threatened to pull $400 million in federal funding if the university did.
What's up, brother Fredo? Always good to see my man, by the way. Hopefully everything is good with you.
Not make
as
changes
always
aimed at protecting Jewish students. Some demonstrators urged others to wear masks to protest the school's new ban on face coverings.
The unkindest cut of all was last Friday in the late afternoon when our...
You just look like the typical libtard. Typical. I mean, for an older cat. Like, if you were, like, my age, you should have, like, blue hair or something. You know what I mean? So, like, purple hair, pink hair. But this dude right here, yeah.
Own administration, Columbia's administration, issued an anonymous 4-page memo acquiescing to many of the government's demands.
That's right, Mister. No
Columbia
kidding.
issued a statement saying it respects debates over issues of academic freedom and protest, but remains fully committed to the steps it announced to combat anti-Semitism, discrimination, and harassment. The New York Post, meanwhile, is reporting that the families of
What's up, Papa Penguin? Make sure you drive safe, sir. Always appreciate you hanging out with us, by the way.
hostages kidnapped by Hamas are suing Mahmoud Khalil and several student groups for allegedly aiding and abetting its continuing acts of international terrorism. That lawsuit was filed in federal court just yesterday. For now, though, we're live here outside Columbia. Gine, back to you.
All right, Briella Tomasetti there with...
Yeah, extremely low T, Charles. Definitely. So what we're going to do is we got this. We understand what the protests are going on about. Let's go ahead and move on into the next topic. We're not going to be listening to no UN. Could really give a fuck less. Florida deputies to receive training from ICE. I guess they're going to be deputized or something like that. I mean, it makes sense if you're going to bring them in, right? This is from DeSantis. Thanks to the laws we've recently enacted in Florida, local entities are required to participate in federal immigration enforcement. The 287G program trains local law enforcement to aid ICE. Florida will ensure its laws are followed. And when it comes to immigration, whatever. Okay. So, interesting.
Local entities are required to participate in federal immigration enforcement. This morning, we're also learning from our content partners with Fox News that we will have a press conference from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis at 10 a.m. out in Palm Bay, Florida.
That's today.
Entities and details of what this press conference is about are not yet provided. But of course, if we are allowed a camera inside, you will get that here on Live Now from Fox. 6:23 is the time, and we do want to give you another
they didn't cover it
live
yet.
look out in downtown Orlando.
Yeah, he's not live yet, so it got pushed back a little bit. All right, so U.S. Secretary of Defense Hegseth participates in wreath-laying ceremony. That's what it was. Not. I guess I said religious in the very top of the hour. But so anyways, a wreath laying ceremony. I'm really obviously not, I'm not really versed in what the fuck a wreath laying ceremony is. Just going to be honest. I'm ignorant on the subject, right? I'm ignorant on the subject, but let's go ahead and see a little bit real quick because I do have it in the title. We're going to go ahead and just play a little bit, understand what's happening here and then skip through. What's up, Dark Horse? Another legend from the state of Alabama. Roll Tide, baby. Shit.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
I don't even know what the fuck is happening. So what do you do to it now? Do you like pray to it? Like what the fuck are we doing? Okay, I'll skip. So salute to it. Okay, so the ones that have fallen. I'm gonna guess with that music right there, it's a salute to the fallen. That's respectable if that is what it is. I'm just ignorant on the subject. Yeah, that's right, Pablo. Mr. says, you heard about the administration leak. People are saying it's Hegseth. Hegseth. I am not buying it. Yeah, I've only heard a very, very small amount of that, Mr. I haven't heard anything like where I would know any type of actual information to give you, but I will also do my research as well. Thanks for bringing it to my attention nonetheless. We're going to skip ahead here in a minute. It's called showing respect to the lost lives. Yep. Okay, makes sense. I guess it's a thing that they do over there in Hawaii. Like, because I've never heard of a wreath laying ceremony. Never heard of that. Maybe that's a normal thing. I have no idea. But that's dope that they're at least paying respects. Damn, homie. That was the last time. Well, congratulations on that, Dark Horse. Good to hear. You're a fucking legend and somebody that I would absolutely consider to be a warrior. That's in Arizona, I think. What is it? What do you mean? Like this whole ordeal? It says, at least down what this thing says this morning in Honolulu, Hawaii on the thing. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on into the next. We're not going to listen to the UN. The UN is what you guys don't want to fall asleep here, right? So we've got protests continuing to happen outside of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office. As you guys know, they were protesting his house, his office, all sorts of shit. And it's just continuing. So what's up with that audio? Terrible audio. They're just walking down the street. What's up with their audio, yo? Get some better equipment. I'm going to skip ahead. Damn.
We're going to step away for our first commercial break, though. Back out to this and continuing coverage of your biggest headlines.
All right, let's move ahead. Palestinian director missing after being detained by Israeli military. How does the Palestinian director go missing when the IDF has their eyes on you 24/7? How does that fucking happen? All right, let's go ahead and get this story real quick. Let's get this story because this is definitely interesting right here. Okay.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us here at Live Now from Fox. My name is Carla.
What's up, Tats?
And I'll be with you throughout the next
Good afternoon.
couple of hours, guiding you through the day's top stories, also showcasing some of these live events around the world. Before we head back out to Jerusalem, where protest is still continuing, I want to put up this as we are following a developing story. Now, a warning.
Oh, this is actual video of dude getting away?
Viewer discretion advised here, as we know that one of the Palestinian co-directors of the Oscar-winning documentary No Other Land still missing today after being beaten by Jewish settlers and detained by the Israeli military. Now, the attorney told the Associated Press she has no information on the filmmaker's whereabouts as of early Tuesday. That's about 12 hours after witnesses said he was attacked and detained.
I see what you're saying. The USS Arizona. I got you. Sunk during the attack on Pearl Harbor. It's now a ceremony/museum. Did not know that about the USS Arizona. Thanks for letting me know.
That
USS Iowa is in Long Beach, actually, and I've been on there a few times.
Co-director, whose name is Hamdan Bilal, was one of 3 Palestinians detained in the village of Suya late Monday.
Audio Nazi, totally.
To their attorney, who is representing them. Police told her they're being held at a military base for medical treatment, and she said she hasn't been able to speak with them. Now, another co-director of the film witnessed the detention and said around 24 settlers, some masked, some carrying guns,
What's up,
some in
AU?
Israeli uniform, attacked the village. Soldiers who arrived.
Yeah, see, you guys don't have to like what's happening in the world, man. I totally understand that. I respect that because I don't necessarily like it either. But you guys can hit that like button for me and my takes and my consolidation of what we do here, man. So very much appreciate you guys
Pointed their guns
for your
at
support.
the Palestinians while settlers continued throwing stones. The Israeli military said it detained 3
True,
Palestinians
Jesse.
suspected of hurling rocks at forces and 1 Israeli civilian involved in a, quote, violent confrontation between Israelis and Palestinians. That's a claim witnesses said who were interviewed by the AP. So some witnesses did dispute that. The military said it had transferred them to Israeli police for questioning and had evacuated an Israeli citizen from the area to receive medical treatment.
Okay, so during transit, that's how the guy got away. Okay,
We will
makes sense.
continue to follow this story and see what comes of it. Any new developments we'll bring to you here at Live Now.
Totally interesting. Okay, so the protesters are continuing, obviously, and with terrible ass audio, so we're not even going to listen to this shit. Dude, what is with this ordeal right here? This is like a standard liberal in California type fucking ordeal. Like, what is happening? This is right outside Netanyahu's office.
That first upcoming event. So the Senate finance.
Okay, so 9:30 start. So on the east, right? So that was an hour. Wait, 2 hours ago. 9:30 Senate meeting on nomination of Mohammed Oz, and then 10 a.m. U.S. Director of National Intelligence testifies in Senate hearing, and then 2 p.m. President Trump signs new executive orders. Interesting.
We'll be holding a meeting to discuss the
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I really don't even really care about Dr. Oz. We're going to go ahead and just move on through. We're going to move on through here. The protests continue, obviously, and they're going to just continue to give a lot of light to that, of course, with their terrible, terrible audio. Then more UN. Let's go ahead and move it ahead. Happening today, Dems rally against the detainment of Mohammed Khalil.
Policy changes demanded by the Trump administration after $400 million in federal funding was withheld. As we continue with some more of
Wait. Sorry. I got to hear about the funding there.
Of university student. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Live Now look over in downtown Manhattan. Happening today, Democratic lawmakers are going to be rallying against the detainment of Mahmoud Khalil. Now, if you may remember, he is the Columbia University student that was detained by ICE agents due to some of the protesting that several of those students have been doing over at Columbia regarding the Gaza war. Now, we know that professors and students there at Columbia have continued to protest as well in response to the school's decision to implement policy changes demanded by the Trump administration after $400 million in federal funding was withheld. As we continue with some more of these top stories and live events that we're heading to later on today, there on the
all right, let me go ahead and move it up ahead now. We're going to continue. We're getting through this shit. Look at this. Look at this. What are we doing? What are we doing at the UN over there? All right, Israeli parliament approves budget as hostage families protest in chamber now. Let me see if they actually have a story rather than just showing us terrible audio. Yeah, it looks like they actually got breaking news on this.
And welcome back to Live Now from Fox. We are following some breaking news as it pertains to Israel. I'm going to give you a live look right now at this scene outside of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office. As we're now learning, Israel's parliament gave final approval to the long-delayed 2025 state budget this morning. This all coming into our newsroom just about 40 minutes or so here. In a session that showed how lawmakers in the country still remain divided over the fate of hostages still held in Gaza and the wider political landscape. Parliament passed the budget by a 66 to 52 margin. Failure to have approved that budget by March 31st would have triggered snap elections. Here's what we know. Families of some of the hostages held up posters and photos of their loved ones during the session. They were joined by opposition lawmakers who also held up signs with the number 59. That's the number of hostages still in Gaza since the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th of 2023. About 24 of them are believed to still be alive. Ahead of this vote, protesters outside tried to block parliament members from entering the building.
It's one
Israel's
fucking nice kitty right there.
Resumed its campaign against Palestinian militant group Hamas in Gaza last week, shattering a 2-month ceasefire. Now, today, the army told residents in all northern border towns in Gaza to evacuate, saying Palestinian rockets had been fired at Israel from the area. The return of fighting has led to mass protests in Israel demanding a return to negotiations to bring back the remaining hostages and bodies. And again, if you are just joining us on Live Now from Fox for this breaking news, we are giving you this live look right now happening outside of Prime Minister Netanyahu's office, as once again, we are learning that Israel's parliament gave final approval to this long-delayed
What's up, Screw Plan, by the way? Always good to see my man.
2025 state budget this morning. This live look out of Jerusalem. As we do continue to learn more, we will continue to update you here on Live Now from Fox. I did also want to share some of the other live events that we are keeping an eye on right now before the break. I did share with you.
Well, yeah, man, Dark Horse, I'm planning on doing a 4th of July get-together here. So you definitely got to make sure you come up to Northern Alabama and hang out with us. But yeah, man, we're planning on doing like an actual 4th of July weekend type of ordeal. It'll be a good time. Be a good time. You should definitely come out.
This live look, as we're going to be listening in here to the nomination hearing for
Dr. Oz.
Dr. Mehmet Oz.
Yeah, no, I don't need to hear that hearing. I'm going to be totally frank. Listen, there's times that it's important to listen to these hearings. Absolutely. And these nomination hearings, all these things, fantastic stuff to listen in on sometimes. But that one, nah. Okay, so the House GOP is doing a briefing, just like the Democrats seem to do. I believe it's once a week, every Tuesday. Both sides of the aisle basically give some sort of a meeting or a press conference. Yeah, here goes. House Democrats speak on Equal Pay Day. Who is this with the blue fucking hair?
Who voted against it?
You're like 80, yo. You're like fucking 80. What are you doing? Look at that.
No, I won't mention it, but I think about it
What
all
the
of the time
fuck?
and who they are and what they did. We would have it as the law of the land today. I introduced this legislation again today because I refuse to give up on this issue. At the end of the day, it's simple.
Yeah, you also refuse to give up on dyeing your fucking hair past the age of 50. I mean, dyeing your hair to like do natural colors, I understand, but like color shit, leave that for the teens, the teeny boppers and shit. What the fuck are you doing?
Men and women in the same job deserve the same pay. And I see our leader here. You know, we sit in this Congress. Where we come from all over, different backgrounds, different credentials, different philosophies,
This is
etc.
scary.
But we work, and it's equal pay for equal work. Men and women in this job are getting the same pay.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
It happened all over the country. Basic concept that has eluded so many in our workforce for far too long. If we truly believe that, we should act on it, make Equal Pay Day a thing of the past. It's time to get this bill out of Congress.
I don't even know what that fucking means. Equal pay day? What does that mean? Who's getting paid more? In any scenario, aside from the fucking lobbyist bullshit, who's getting paid more? Are you saying that, like, Democrats aren't getting enough equal pay? Are you saying that women aren't getting equal pay? What are you even saying?
I know we will do it because, you know, I always quote my mom in these circumstances, and she said, never give up and don't take no for an answer. And we're never giving up, and we're not going to take no for an answer. And now let me do this. Let me introduce our fearless leader, Hakeem Jeffries. And if anyone knows that it's just about making sure that men and women in the same job deserve the same pay. Wonderful to have you with us, leader. Wonderful to have you with us.
Okay, here comes the white knight of the women group.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. So thank you.
Oh, you are gay as hell, homie. He came out with a straight ass lisp, as per, I mean, you would expect that, right?
For the incredible leadership of Rosa DeLauro in connection with a whole host of issues of importance to the American people, but certainly in the context of the Paycheck Fairness Act. It's an honor to be here with a group of amazing and powerful women leaders for this country. Of course, the Speaker Emerita, Nancy Pelosi, the greatest speaker of all time. We're thankful for her, our tremendous whip, Catherine Clark, of course, the leaders of the Democratic Women's Caucus, Teresa Leger Fernandez, who is doing a tremendous job standing on the shoulders of another great leader.
That's the whole thing. It's all a fallacy. Even with the men and women bullshit, that's a fallacy. Like, you understand what they do, especially when they do this like whole like equal work, equal pay. Well, here's the difference is when they do like, you look at the average money made by a man and an average money made by a woman, and there is a small difference there. But that's also, there's many things that aren't talked about in these. It's because what men specifically put themselves through and more dangerous. And a lot of times we're willing to speak up and ask for raises. We're aggressive that way, as well as we're more apt to work overtime than women are. Like, there's a lot of different aspects to this shit. That's why it's always been a fallacy. If you're working a certain job, I don't care what you are. If you're getting paid by your title, if you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. You're both making the same fucking money. That's where the fallacy is. Anyways, back to this.
Was Frankel,
because it would be extremely illegal for someone to be making more money based off of their sex. It's just not going to happen. It's just way too easy to sue that shit. It's a fallacy now. It doesn't even happen anymore.
Who are here. I'm not sure how I made it on the list, but I'm honored to be here on behalf of this critically important
I agree, KP.
issue.
We need to.
When women succeed, America succeeds. But in order to make sure that women can succeed as a result of their incredible God-given talent, ability, intellect, brilliance, and resilience, we have to level the playing field. And that is what the Paycheck Fairness Act is all about. For the women of America and for the good of this country. It is not acceptable that in the United States of America, far too many women have to work twice as hard for often half the pay.
So who is working double the amount of work and getting half the fucking pay? Name who these people and positions are. How can you make such an absurd, outrageous, retarded claim? Back that shit up, homie. Back that shit, what you just said. Back that shit up.
States of America, far too many
I backed it up.
Women have to work twice as hard for often half the pay.
Fucking liar. Absolute 100%, 1000% lying. Stupid ass.
Stupid.
That is the most retarded fucking take I have ever heard. And people are going to sit there and like take it all in and take, fucking jotting down notes. Like, this is fucking absurd. This is the type of shit in politics that's very dangerous, because if you just say it enough times, even though it's a lie, you just say it enough times, it becomes the truth in politics' eyes. So bullshit like this is unreal to me that people fucking listen to it.
That should never
and believe
occur.
it. Meaning, I mean, we're listening to it, but we're not believing any of this bullshit.
It hurts these women. It hurts their families. It hurts their communities.
Who
It
are you
hurts
talking about?
The country's
These women. Who are these women?
Economic competitiveness. And so we strongly stand behind Rosa DeLauro and her leadership. We strongly stand behind the Paycheck Fairness Act. We will strongly stand behind leveling the playing field and creating equal economic opportunity for success for the women of America. The current situation is unacceptable, unconscionable, and it's un-American, and we will not rest until the Paycheck Fairness Act is the law of the land.
No, we're not adding more fucking laws, you morons. Fucking morons.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Bunch of idiots out here.
Stupid.
With a whole bunch of emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Hit that like button, everybody. You don't have to like what the left is saying here, but you guys can like what I have to say about this shit.
Thank you very much.
What's up, AU, by the way?
All right, and we are just listening.
That was terrible. That was absurd.
To House Democrats as they are speaking on Equal Pay Day, but we do have to sneak in 2 more breaks this hour, so we're going to take one right now. And
No,
we'll
we're not.
Right back to this.
No, we're not. We're not taking a break right now. We're going to skip ahead and see if we have any more here. They are continuing to speak. Oh my God! Look at this group of just Marxist women. Totally Marxist women. Full on feminist Marxist women.
Teresa Fernandez and I get to represent the beautifully diverse 3rd Congressional District of Nuevo Mexico and serve as the co-chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus. And we...
Gross. Gross. Oh my God. And then here we go. We got House Democrats speak on ITEL leaks report. All right, look at this is this dude right here is the biggest scumbag. Grade A scumbag, this dude right here.
Settled from the government shutdown fight. How do you feel about Chuck Schumer's leadership? Do you still think he's the right person to lead Senate Democrats?
Both the vice chair and I are very pleased with our senators, Alex Padilla and
you mean all your lame ass, bot ass, corrupt ass senators?
Adam Schiff voting against the CR. Our fight ahead is on how we protect Medicaid and Social Security. You've seen now, Washington Post article today, the Social Security lines, people aren't.
Yeah, that I explained to you, the pay gap. Okay, let me go ahead and explain it to you because obviously you're not getting it, Bob. There is a pay gap. You're right. I explained when you take men in America and women in America and see how much they make, there is a pay gap. But it's not because some chick is working at the same company at the same title and getting paid less. Not happening. That's a fallacy. That's fake. That's fake news. The way it's actually worked is, okay, we are more apt to take overtime. We're more apt to ask for raises. We're more apt to do these things. We're not taking more time off than all these things are considered. So yeah, we probably do make about like 8 cents more an hour than women on average. But the pay gap is not because of somebody doing the same job. That's where the fallacy is. Just need to say that.
Answering hours, we're hearing from constituents waiting hours and hours on hold. Is the Trump administration is ushering out employees, frontline employees who are doing this critical work across the country, responding to individuals. It's imperative that we ensure Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. That's the next fight ahead, and I'm confident that our partners and friends in the Senate are going to lock arms with us and protect Medicaid and so many of these vital.
Well, yeah, Medicaid, Medicare, all of these things. Yeah, they should be protected. I agree with that, actually, 100%. All right, I'm done listening to Homeboy speak here. We've got a last ordeal here, which obviously they didn't really get into President Trump's executive orders challenged in court. They didn't actually present any of that within this 7 hours of live streaming news this morning. They started super early in the morning, like ridiculously early. And I didn't see anything. I thought that maybe hoping that by the end of this, it would already be here, but it's not here. I do know that at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have President Trump signing more executive orders. So I'm sure that it'll be talked about a little bit over there. I'm guessing. But unfortunately, that is the end for us. So what we'll go ahead and do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to go ahead and find someone that is live and that we can show a little love to. We love to go ahead and send a raid over to somebody, show a little love, and continue the conversation somehow, some way. Let me go ahead and figure out who is live right now. It looks like, believe it or not, Black Dragon is still live. Are you serious? I just refreshed. Let me see. Because we'll give it to him if he's still live. He sure the fuck is. All right. Stick around, everybody. We're going to go ahead and raid our buddy over there, Black Dragon. Go ahead and show him a little love and hit that like button. Also, over there, meaning here too, by the way. Make sure you guys hit that like button here. I very much appreciate that. But if you guys would like to help out me and also help out someone else, man, make sure when we send you guys over to Black Dragon, hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. Hit that like button and help them out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you all enough for hanging out with me this beautiful Tuesday, Taco Tuesday morning, man. Much love, honor, respect to everybody. We will see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Until then, God bless, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love, honor, respect to everybody.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges.